Hello my friends, and right away I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Greetings were not forgotten, and the Ukrainian Defense Forces have prepared a gift. Two Russian fighter jets, immediately Su-34 and Su-30. Late yesterday evening, the commander of the Ukrainian Air Force announced the downing of a Su-34 fighter jet with an anti-aircraft missile system in the Mariupol direction. It's worth mentioning that from the front line to the occupied Mariupol is more than 100 kilometers. Ukrainian defenders have never hit so far into the enemy's area. The commander of the Air Force also reported that on the Odessa direction over the Black Sea, they managed to hit a Su-30. This news sparked a real panic among the Russians. Some write that the information from the general staff is a lie and that no Russian planes were shot down. Other information about the destruction of fighters confirms that they are supposedly not shot down with anti-aircraft missile systems, but with American F-16 fighters, which the Russians, of course, claim to have shot down in a quantity of 4, even though they haven't even been sent to Ukraine yet. But it's easy to understand such excitement from propagandists. In a little over 2 days, the Ukrainian Armed Forces have shot down 5 Russian fighters, 4 of which are the new Su-34s. Russia produces only 10 of these per year, and each one costs around $50 million. These aircraft are specifically equipped for dropping guided aviation bombs and missiles, which cause the most damage to our military on the front. 3 Su-34s were shot down by the defense forces in the south directions on Friday. The Russians were questioning whether they were flying to bomb our positions in Krynky. In the Institute Studying Wars, it's noted that after the downing of the first 3 fighters on Friday, the Russians significantly reduced the number of airstrikes and bombing from aviation. According to preliminary information, the occupiers didn't drop any guided aviation bombs on the Kherson region yesterday. Everyone understands that further reduction in the number of strikes in the Kherson region could allow Ukrainian forces to operate more freely in areas on the right bank and continue to develop their bridgehead on the left bank. Now, let's talk about the situation on the front. Let's start with the Kherson direction. There has been an increase in enemy artillery shelling. In addition to strikes on Kherson and the frontline villages, there are attacks on Ochakiv from the Kinburn Spit. Also, explosions were heard in Odessa yesterday evening. Details are not available yet. Meanwhile, in the Krynky area, Russians continue their attempts to push our forces out of the left bank. The Russians report that the Ukrainian Armed Forces have started to inflict even more damage on them because aviation is not active.
According to the situation in the evening of December 24, 23 in the area of Krynky. Today, our aviation in the area of the village of Krynky still did not work. There was not a single arrival of FABs. The enemy became emboldened and began to make daring raids in the southern forest.
We'll see how events unfold. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, the Russians continue to assault Ukrainian positions in the Robotyne area, but the intensity is gradually decreasing. There were 3 attacks in the last day, and the Ukrainian Armed Forces successfully repelled them. Therefore, the front line remains unchanged, although shelling persists along the entire front line. It is also reported that the Russians have started checking the Ukrainian defenses in the Hulaypole area, but our soldiers successfully repelled the attack and there are no changes. In the Vuhledar direction, the number of shelling along the entire front line has increased, but offensive actions are still not conducted. It's worth noting that the Su-34 we discussed earlier was hidden towards this direction. In the Avdiivka direction, the number of attacks has slightly decreased, with 10 attacks repelled within a day. However, the Russians are still advancing on a broad front. Moreover, there has been a significant increase in shelling targeting Ochakiv, Kherson, Avdiivka, and other frontline villages. Attacks also continue in the Novobakhmutivka area, Svatove, and assaults on the coke chemical plant. The Ukrainian Armed Forces successfully repel all attacks, preventing the Russians from advancing. In the industrial zone, the Russians have started using larger groups for assaults, attempting to break through to the outskirts of the city. However, the Ukrainian Armed Forces are doing everything to prevent them from consolidating their positions. On the southern flank, in the Severn area, the Russians haven't achieved success, suffered losses, and are currently only conducting shelling. However, there are difficulties in the Prvomaisk area. The Russians are trying to storm the village directly, but the Ukrainian Armed Forces repel all attacks. The front line hasn't changed within a day. It's noteworthy that Russian soldiers are frustrated with their military leadership and don't understand the reasons for the war.
Я просто мобилизованный, нахожусь на Донецком направлении, под Маринкой. И что бы нам хотелось сказать этой власти? Вы посмотрите, какие ублюдки, когда мы там воюем, да, когда мы гнием в окопах, они, сука, носят на жопе 23 миллиона. И они хвалятся этим. Это вообще как понимать? Товарищ Путин, товарищ Шойгу, блядь, это как понимать? А? Мы что, за этих пи***ов тут, сука, в окопах сидим, блядь? Вы нам ответьте, когда у нас конец срока. У зэков есть конец срока, вы милуете, сука. Убийц, насильников и так далее, блядь. Мы уже 1,5 года здесь с мышами в окопах гнием, блядь. Когда все, сука, это закончится? Путин, Шойгу, сука. Когда все это закончится, нахуй нас...
In the Bakhmut direction, the occupiers continue to storm the area near Bohdanivka. However, as of the moment this video is being created, all attacks near Ivanivsk have ceased and only shelling is reported. It's confirmed that the Ukrainian Armed Forces repelled some positions in the Khromov area, but the changes are minor and the front line remains the same. Battles and shelling also continue in the Klishchiivka and Andriivka areas. However, the Ukrainian Armed Forces repel all attacks and there are no changes. In the Siversk direction, shelling continues along the entire front line, but there are no new offensive actions and the situation remains unchanged. In the direction of Crimea, the occupiers increase the number of shelling targeting Zaporizhzhia, Torsky, Yampolivka, and Nevsky. However, no new attacks are recorded, possibly indicating artillery preparation before new assaults. And in the direction of Svatove, battles have resumed. Russians have regrouped and are once again attacking Ukrainian Armed Forces positions in the Stelmachivka area. We'll wait to see how the battles unfold this time. In the Kupiansk direction, the Russians intensively shell almost all frontline villages. However, attacks are only conducted in Synkivka. Occupiers, as before, don't achieve any success and the front line remains unchanged. And that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.